You're not watching though, right?
I would, if that was offered to me. Sometimes I do like.
You hold on, time out. Let me get a 20-second time out. I don't need a full minute time. I need a 20-second time out to regroup right quick. You mean to tell me you can watch your man
I have several times.
beat somebody back? You get up on that?
Maybe it's weird, but I kind of like it. Like, it's these things with me.
okay. I'm interested.
No, I'm not. It's not like me being, oh, she's super freaky. No.
You super freaky?
He said, no, it's not. He always says with me, it's never about the things that people would think. Everything with you is about control. Everything that you do.
So you the producer. So you like the director. You directing them, or you just?
No, I just like to watch. I like to have my cup, and then.
What kind of cup? You sipping like this?
It's cute, but.
Woo! Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Rufus and Craig Show. I'm your wonderful host, Craig, and that is
Rufus. Good morning.
We're excited to celebrate our 20th episode with you all today, and thank you for listening. Yeah. Shout out to those of you, of course, in the continental United States, and as well as our friends in South Africa. We really appreciate you all for tuning in and celebrating us. And what you just heard, a lighter, is it virality? Is that a word?
Yeah, that's a word.
Okay.
Somebody made it up, so it's official now.
Viral moment from Kimberly Michelle Pate, also known as Puddin' in her country lane. Huh. Yeah, Puddin'. And also known as K. Michelle in the R&B lane and in reality TV lane. And so she did this sit down with Club Shay Shay. And this was one of the moments. And I'm like, oh, man, that interview was about, 2 hours and 30 minutes long.
Did you watch it?
No, I have not. I thought I was going to be able to catch it on the plane, but I couldn't. Okay. But nonetheless, man, I mean, if you go to the Club Shay Shay Instagram handle, they posted about 20 daggone clips. They are going to eat off that K. Michelle interview because she's hot, right? She's what's hot right now she's hot because what's going on with her on the Housewives of Atlanta show. And a lot of people are just wanting to get K. Michelle off the show. So I thought it would be fun for us to bring her up this week. The internet just is the best. It just gives and gives and gives and gives. So, Rufus, have you watched your partner, do something with somebody else when you had a partner?
No.
I've never watched that. Now, I've partaken in, supporting OnlyFans platforms. Sometimes you see stuff on Twitter. Sometimes you see stuff on Instagram. And hell, at this point, you see stuff on Facebook. And depending on what part of the country.
And X.
Yeah, that's what that's called. Did I say Twitter?
You said Twitter, though. My bad.
But we know Twitter. We don't know X. But
that's true. That's true. I've even seen shit on TikTok from time to time.
Oh, wow. So this stuff is everywhere, you all. So what she's saying, but that's primary, I guess, to her bedroom. I'm thinking, was that just kind of lowbrow at this point, or was that the wrong road? Because coming off of the heels of a Diddy conviction, is it appropriate for K. Michelle to say, oh, yeah, I like to watch my man, well, now her husband, rather.
I would say, what does a Diddy conviction have to do with her and her husband?
Because she's in the entertainment industry. She, too, is a musician. I guess you could say a producer. So similar, and you're seeing exercising a level of control over these persons that come in. And while they agree and give consent, and, that was a part of his thing, sitting back and watching Cassie have sexual activities. Sexual activities. We're posting this to YouTube later. So anyway, when we do get monetized on our YouTube channel, we want it to be there. But Rufus sees that differently. But we're going to move on past that. But wait, yeah.
So she's a reverse cook and he's an actual cook. Got it.
See, you all, I didn't know nothing about that.
Cuckold is typically when a man likes to watch his wife get fucked by another man. Okay. So I'm assuming she would be like the reverse of a cuckold. I don't know what they call it though.
I don't know. That's kind of deep for me. I've only heard T.S. Madison make reference to that on her show. So that's as far as it goes for me hearing that word.
And we love Maddie.
Yeah. We do love her over here. So getting right into the show, you all. Gonna start with our economy segment. And so what you'll see today, man, it's a lot of this stuff kind of overlays into other parts of the show, we definitely gonna hit sports. We definitely gonna hit the economy. And we'll always touch on our wow moments. What was big, what was standing out this particular week. And one thing, it's unfortunate. We talked about this in prior episodes, right? Is Meta. I think this past week, I guess, is when they actually sent the letters out to those 8,000 employees to pretty much say, hey, we're restructuring and you don't have a job. And so when I looked at that,
What's happening?
No. The average salary of a Meta employee is $371,000 up to $381,000. So you can just imagine if that's one income, or it could be two. You never know if it's a spouse or a coupling in some kind of way, both working for the Meta platform, but they're going through a restructuring, are doing a structural pivot. And so, unfortunately, one thing you've heard Rufus say is, I hate AI. I hate AI. That's all he's going to say. And so Meta is reassigning, 7,000 employees into a newly formed AI-focused pods. And basically trying to eliminate humans. So to think about this man, oh God, what is his name? What's the Jeff Bezos?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Amazon. That one. So Mark Zuckerberg. You've seen him shoulder to shoulder with Jeff Bezos, and I want to say
and the Donald Trump.
Correct. And I think the guy of Apple. So they're always like the face of America when it comes to economics. They always support him. They are definitely literally aligned with him. But nonetheless, his ass is feeling it too. And so as they throw these is it Meta data centers up? I know in Georgia, don't they have some in Texas? Yeah, man.
I don't know where they are, but I know they're always near poor communities.
Yeah,
they drink all the water.
Yep, they're in Georgia. And one thing the lady showed up, I think it could have, let's say, Georgia politician, she held up this mason jar, man, and it had like brown, nasty water, and she was like, this is what our citizens are dealing with this data center being here, being here. And I know in Texas, I remember looking at a news story rather, where it was a couple, they were white, so I guess just poor communities too. Anyway, yeah, she was like, we don't have any water pressure. So while I definitely leverage AI, it is not good for the environment, and we hear that all the time. Definitely, I work in higher ed, so when we talk about let's automate, we need to automate and leverage AI while it is there, but the water's disappearing. So,
yeah, I think that stuff needs to be regulated in some kind of way because it's ridiculous. Correct. Like, we need water to live, so it's got to be some type of regulation that they need to input. But I just want to say that $300,000 as an average salary is incredible.
Yeah. That's the average salary, man. Those people are getting paid. So I could just imagine, it's not too many other places you can go where you can get that much money from a single source.
Correct.
A single source. Not the lady that we covered. Remember, she had the 3 jobs and her salary was about $320,000.
3 jobs, though.
Across yep. Yeah, I think it was 3 jobs. She had 3 jobs and that was her salary. It was about $320,000. So, these people are getting this salary from one source. And man, good luck to those folks. And just moving on from that. Another story that we could talk about today that I wanted to definitely hit. Most of us have taken ride shares, and a Florida Lyft driver was permanently banned from the platform after he attempted to collect a fake $75 damage fee using an AI, sticking with the theme of AI, generated photo pretty much where this young lady, it was her and her friend, got in the back of the car. They took the drive home. He dropped her off, and I guess it was billed to the father's account because it was the dad that came forward. That's who I saw on ABC News in affiliates. He was saying it was just unfair, and the daughter was sitting next to him. But man, tried to charge this girl. Everybody that's a con. And one thing, since we talked about Dr. Bryant, was, everybody's a grifter now.
Oh, for sure. And a lot of them get away with it because if you're good enough, you might not ever get caught. And I think AI is probably enabling a lot of people to get away with fake shit. Altering documents and pictures. You never know. You might have a picture of somebody and it may have never been them.
That's right. Yep. Definitely. If they're good with it, you're right about that. You're definitely.
And everybody's making these little pictures on social media where they're they put their face in there and they just make it whatever they want to make it. I think this shit's harmful, for real.
It is, and it's scary. It's taking catfish to a whole new level.
Right.
Yep. Taking it to a whole new level. And one of our beginning of our crossover stories, we love, well, I do, to talk about the intersectionality of the drama and our athletes in the sports
Oh,
entertainment industry. And so, moving right along, this story I personally am familiar with. If you think back to prior episodes, I may have discussed this, but did not disclose the company that I work for. But NFL Hall of Famer Terrell Owens has publicly accused his longtime manager, Heather Masalam, of stealing money from him. He cut out ties with her after discovering unauthorized pay increases and financial discrepancies. And so what this was Terrell going on Instagram and posting a lot of screenshots of text messages, like the notepad of all of his bills. And one that was on there was the company that I worked for, man. And he was, so basically it was an entertainment television company or whatnot. And he was still paying a little bit over $500 for that bill. And I think he circled where it said me, and it was a $1,500 payment. So I guess I don't know what her salary was, because her rebuttal was in January they agreed to a pay increase for her, but nonetheless he said that she's, I guess, Shawnee O'Neal and Cypherson off of money. But that was when Shawnee was Shawnee O'Neal. Now she's Shawnee Henderson. But not to be distracted, but I paid. Okay, I didn't pay, but I processed the payment for Terrell Owens, and this would have been like it was a lady called, oh man,
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, this was, it could have been, it had to have been, let's say somewhere between 2009 and 2011, because I wasn't at the company that long. And so, nonetheless, she called and was like, hey, I need to pay these bills. And so I had to process a payment on 4 different accounts. There was an account like in Texas, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
T-Town.
I feel like, so it was like Dallas, Texas, Tuscaloosa. It was somewhere in LA, and I feel like it was somewhere in Georgia as well. And so I was like, wow, this is a lot of accounts. And so she was like, so we just paying the bills. But that was a black lady, not Heather. Yeah, because it's almost, could be almost 20 years ago. But nonetheless, yeah, I was like, wow. My takeaway from that, was, wow, this is a lot. She was like, would you like to talk to him? And I was like,
no, girl, send me a cash app.
I don't think Cash App was a thing in 09.
Venmo, I know it probably was.
But I was like, no, I'm at work, girl. I don't care. Let's just take his money. Let's keep him paying this bill.
We're trying to get this job done and
get
off
this phone. And get up right. 6 hours. Correct, because then I get in trouble for long call time, right?
Right, because they be tracking that shit. They track when the damn call pick up and when it's done.
Yes, but Terrell was paying a lot of people's bills. It was a lot of, and I don't know if they were necessarily his homes. And I know later in life, I think he had that TV show where it was with those black women.
The dating show that he had?
No, it was something about, it was just like, it could have been that. Yeah, maybe it was. And those women, I think, were on that show. So, one thing we always talk about these athletes, they definitely pay a lot of people's bills. I witnessed it firsthand with T.O., and we've seen his kind of ups and downs with finances. So it looks like he's more aware of that now. And so I guess that's the plus side of this. Now, somebody who has and has not been aware, that we've talked about in previous shows, because it's almost like the flashback show. Is Floyd Mayweather? Don't they call him Money Mayweather? Okay,
Money Mayweather.
Yeah. Don't
Money
he have
making Mayweather?
Isn't it a gang? Is it what they call the people that be around?
I don't know anything about that.
Because he has a harem of women. And there be some
men. I don't
men.
know anything about that. I know Tiny was over there at one point in time, allegedly, but I don't know nothing about that.
She sure the fuck did. T.I. got his shit together.
T.I. said, come bring your ass back home. Allegedly.
She did go
I
over
wasn't
there. She sure did go over there. She was over there, courtside.
Allegedly.
Ray J's, do we call Princess Love his wife or ex-wife? She was over there.
See, I don't know. Were they married? Like officially married?
Yeah. They're married. That's why this whole custody and divorce thing. Remember, we're filing divorce. So yeah, I think they're still married. They're still not legally divorced. While I believe they're living separate. But yeah, a lot of people know. Jason Lee has been over there with Floyd Mayweather.
Now, what he was doing over there?
I don't know. Maybe giving them good press. I'm not sure. But Floyd Mayweather has had a lot going on. And more recently, he has filed a $175 million fraud lawsuit in New York against his former investment manager and real estate advisor, alongside an associate attorney. And what he's alleging is that they built his trust over several years before orchestrating a complex scheme that included misappropriating funds, taking unauthorized loans from his properties, and illicitly pawning his luxury jewelry and personal Gulfstream jet.
You can't pawn no damn jet.
Well, I guess somebody say, okay, if you don't give me, I'll give you, let's say it's valued at $15 million. Let's go for 20. I'll give you 3 million because you're short for cash, and give me the title to your jet. So technically, yes, I'm thinking something is happening over there, and they have accused Mayweather of being a functional illiterate, and
And that's
so
where reading
he
is
can't.
fundamental.
Yeah, man, he don't know what the hell going on with these contracts, and so
He
this
needs
is
to
where
have a
he is
team that can help him.
that can be trustworthy, right? And
Hmm.
so we've been hearing, and we don't speak her name over here, a certain vlogger that Cardi B is sued, but
Oh,
nonetheless, she has talked about him being broke and being stuck. I remember one time she talked about him being stuck over in Dubai because he owed somebody money. Something, I don't know if he has a gambling, something was happening, man, but he couldn't
mm,
get out of Dubai. He had to get some money for that, but it keeps showing up more and more, properties being behind on taxes, and one thing it makes me think about with these athletes is feeding the beast, and also entertainers, because
right.
he's
The
considered,
ego.
yeah, feeding the beast. And while I know people will probably be like, well, how the hell you tied it in? We think about R. Kelly, there was a whole group of folks involved in it. You keep feeding, and
Hmm.
if money's thing, if Floyd made the Floyd,
They
oh
were
my
complicit
goodness.
because they were getting paid,
Correct, that part.
allegedly.
And if his thing is money, and if Robert Kelly's thing was women, we're
Sex.
gonna keep bringing you women to do this thing too, and we're gonna bring you money. It's just that thing, right? It's either set, like
Yeah.
you said, right. A man's downfall is gonna be money or sex, and so, man, I really think that's what this is for the most part, more than anything. Um, yeah, and one thing we discussed the last time, I definitely want to hit on before we round his ass off, in a way, is he's actually in California. He has filed a $340 million lawsuit against
Damn.
Showtime and a former executive. And in that suit, he's alleging that his career earnings for some of the biggest, fights that he had or whatever, were systematically diverted or misappropriated through a handshake deal involving his longtime advisor. So, man, it's just a lot of
Damn.
shakiness around the, did you call it estate, the Money Mayweather estate.
Yeah. I,
he
I I hope he gets the right team around him because I mean I guess this previous team has not been a good team. They didn't obey their fiduciary duties, and I hope because I don't know if it's true that he can't read or he's illiterate or whatever, but I hope somebody is in his corner helping him get the shit that he's owed because this is crazy. Because how much you ever know what his net worth was at one point? It was high,
I
I
feel like
believe.
somewhere I've seen something about 400 or 500 million, and I think they were saying he was going towards, because billionaire status, because in one event he could get, two, three, $400 million. One,
Hmm.
you're getting hundreds of $1 million from one event.
Yeah.
Just like kind of like base pay, your initial contract, not to consider like endorsements and things of that nature that come with it
Hmm.
as well. But yeah, you're definitely right, and just our last to round it off on his ass. I mean, this has been a Floyd Mayweather week, if I may say. So he's been ordered to pay nearly $1 million in back child support after impregnating a dancer stripper. Um, you know, and over so the child support agreement was $32,000 per month,
Ooh.
and he's had ongoing payments. And this was out of Nevada. So, and this is for a 4-year-old, now 4-year-old little girl and his
Hmm.
fifth child. And so, you see the theme of, man, things ain't, the sun ain't too bright, over there.
Right.
So, if people are taking advantage of, somebody who is allegedly a functional illiterate, man, it's their time. It's their time. And so,
I think I heard a while back about some basketball player who paid his child's mother the total amount of the child support at one time. I think if I were in that situation, I would do that. Just
just
get it
cash
over
them
with.
out.
And then
Yeah.
if it ain't enough, girl, you got it. I mean, you got the $18 million. If it's $1 million a year, whatever it is, you got it all right there. So you decide what you
Yeah.
want to do with it.
Yeah. And
But
I
it's just
think
how I would do it.
that might have, was it Alan Edwards?
I can't tell
Look
you.
it up
It
right quick
was
while I cover this little piece. Yeah, look it up. I
I
think it
don't
was Edwards. I
I'll
think,
try, but
which
I
band,
don't
it
know
was
how
like
I
$3
don't know
million,
how to.
dollars, right? I
What's his
remember that
name?
story.
Alan Edwards.
It could be Alan Edwards. I think he just paid it off. Or it might be the other guy. I
I know
don't
he
know
was a
which.
young guy. This is like maybe last year, or the year
Uh
before.
huh. Just paid it off. Said, I'm not dealing with this. We just need these guys to slow down. And somebody that didn't slow down was the Philadelphia Eagles linebacker, Nolan Smith Jr. He was arrested in Twiggs County, Georgia. Now, you know that's the last place you want to be pulled over for anything. They always say
No.
do not get in a case
Say
in
the county
Georgia.
name again.
Twiggs County, Georgia. And
That
this was,
sound like the fucking Boondocks.
that's right. Remember, Atlanta is black. The rest of Georgia ain't black.
Correct. Maybe Macon, but the rest of it,
It ain't black.
I've been to Macon. Macon kind of black, but I don't know about the rest of Georgia.
Yeah, man. And so this was on May 15th, and he was allegedly driving 135 miles per hour in a 70
God
mile.
damn.
That's right, in a 70 mile per hour zone. So I don't even know if that qualifies as a super speeder ticket because you've almost doubled the speed limit. At that point, you know, they did right to take his ass to jail. So he's
Correct.
he's got charges of speeding and excessive and reckless driving. You know, and you know one thing I always do, Rufus will tell you, I'm gonna go look at the contract.
Oh yeah,
I'm
he
going
love
to
to
the
look
contract.
up the contracts and the homes.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
tell a little bit of his business. He love to look
whatever.
at homes and contracts.
So Nolan Smith, he signed a 4-year, $11.9 million contract with the Philadelphia Eagles, and this began in 2023. Including he had a signing bonus of $5.7 million, and he's guaranteed to make that $11.9 million. And his average annual salary is about $2.9 million. And so in 2026, they're saying that he'll make $2.3 million, and his cap hit is going to be $3.3 million. So that's just it's a lot of money. Even though we know that stuff is taxed, but depending on it, you know, how you got your payment and stuff set up, you can probably, you know, beat. Because one thing we know, you know, Philadelphia Eagles, in a way, Saquon in particular, are not afraid to align themselves with a Donald Trump, and I hope that golf date was worth it that he had with him. Were you able to find the guy?
I have the answers. This is per Jason Pearson Media
Okay.
on Facebook, but it says NBA star Anthony Edwards reportedly made a historic move by paying $1,080,000 in child support all at once, covering 18 years worth of payment.
Yep, you just want to be done. So I'm with you, Rufus. So that's the end of our sports segment, man. I enjoy it.
Thank
I
God.
love how it connects with regular life shit. Now moving on.
Regular for somebody.
Moving on, you know, in our little wild segment, one story that I came about that it was actually Sears. So this guy went on his social media platform, I believe it was Facebook.
Sears, as in
Yeah.
Sears, the store that's no longer in business.
Yeah, is it Sears and Roebuck Company? Sears.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
And so he was pretty much reflecting on what it meant to have a full-time job in America, you know, the days old. And he was specifically talking about the 1990s. And he was saying those Sears employees during that time were able to buy homes, you could raise a family, you could retire with a pension, and actually enjoy life off of that single income.
Mm-hmm.
And so whether or not, you know, that was particularly true, you know, it speaks to our economy today. And many Americans, of course, are saying, you know, hey, one full-time job no longer guarantees stability, you know, especially as housing
Right.
and healthcare and everyday living costs continue to rise, you know, and our wages ain't going up. You know, I would say, you know, this gas tank going up. You know, I talk about the damn pack of noodles, bro. How are noodles 75 cents?
Right. And AI is taking all of the jobs.
Yep. And I think back, like, even with this, I was like, you know what? I remember, you know, childhood friends, parents working in Sears. You know, no people was living and eating. I think I know one in particular, her, I forgot who it was. Like, let's say the wife worked in Sears and the dad owned like a plumbing business. So, you know, them folks was making it, bruh. Them was like grown people. You could pay bills off of a Sears check.
Yeah. Think about this too. Back in the day, years ago, like, you know, when I was young and when you were young, people, they didn't, you know, like nowadays, people change jobs every 2 to 3 years or 3 to 4 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Back then, or maybe before then, but people stayed at the same job for like 30 years and they would just retire from their one job and get a pension. Pensions are completely almost obliterated. The only way that people have retirement funds now is from their 401k or from like another type of fund. But pensions, like regular pensions, like the one that some people have that work civil service jobs still, are mostly gone, which is unfortunate. But companies are greedy and they don't really care about the people that work for them. All they really care about is the money.
Yep.
Yeah,
They getting theirs. They are definitely getting theirs. They getting theirs. They getting theirs. Thank you for that, man. And we'll just round it off. We just got two more stories that we want to cover, man. And just briefly, New York. I know we talked about the
Oh, one of
state
my
of
favorite
Louisiana.
places.
Yeah, it sure is yours. Louisiana sinking, but I've heard something similar about New York. Man, the
I've heard the
floods.
same thing.
The floods. You
So
know.
it's been raining a lot up that way. I didn't know this.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's like the flash floods, man. So you seeing these videos of people trying to get off the bus, getting washed away down the
I
street.
did see a video like that
Yep,
yesterday.
getting washed away, man. I saw my heart went out to the guy trying to deliver somebody food in that rain. I'm like, okay, even the service providers of that app, let's say if they work for like DoorDash or Uber, pause that stuff. It's like it's no way that this person can get from here to this block in this bicycle. Like that shit ain't safe. You're gonna die trying to deliver somebody cheesesteak.
Right,
You
right,
know, it's
right.
just weird and similar to that. It ties into our past stories about Waymo. Down in Atlanta, they had some flash floods going on, and people had to rescue each other down there in Atlanta, man. And so Waymo did suspend service due to the flooding in Atlanta because the cars, I guess they ain't no Teslas. They just kept driving and driving right into the flood and water. So,
I believe they suspended it here in Dallas too. I don't know. We haven't had any floods that I'm aware of, but I believe they. Let me see if I can find it up.
now we talked about that too in prior episodes where in Dallas they were trying to go up the wrong way of the interstate and just
Yeah, they
being
were. The
crazy.
one I saw was running the light. It says Waymo temporarily suspended its robo taxi services across all Texas markets, including Dallas, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. The pause was enacted as a proactive measure due to severe weather and flash flooding concerns.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess
So
it is because of
similar
the weather.
thing. Yeah, but they
Yeah.
need to be getting that. You talked about them pacing and doing it. Them motherfucking things ain't got it going on. They ain't got it going on. You trying to run red lights.
Right.
You just said it ran a red light. I saw it trying to go the wrong way of the interstate.
Yeah.
They just go into traffic like what the fuck?
And guess what?
What
It
the
all
fuck?
ties back into my original statement that AI is going to kill us.
Yeah. In these instances, literally. So great 20th episode. We appreciate you all for tuning in. I'm gonna sign off from here. We appreciate you. We will see you all next week. Thank you all. Bye.
Good good day.